Hey, Tom No, CMO at Atomic Enrollment. In this video, we're going to talk about how vocational, trade, career schools can use events to scale enrollments. And these are simple events, combination of online, in-person, open house events. We call it a 90-day, 3-event ladder. Basically, we take strangers, we run cold ads to them. Obviously, they're the ideal ICP, the ideal avatar, the ideal type of students you want. We run ads to them on social media, Google. We bring them to an online webinar. We push them into a more intimate info session, in-person, on-campus, on-site workshop, and then ultimately into a bigger open house, and then push them into enrollments. Because, schools need to stop asking for marriage on the first date. You're asking students to commit, $10, $15, $20, $30,000 and like 9 months, a year, 2 years of their lives. And you guys just need to earn that trust to start. So this 3-step event ladder allows you to move a cold stranger to a paid enrollment smoothly without burning out your admissions or your operations team and not making it feel like at least your sales team is chasing down cold calls, So we have what we call the 3-step event ladder. Most schools just rely on random open houses. They treat every event like just an isolated event. They just run open house when they feel like it pretty much. But the key is using a connected 3-step event chain over 90 days. So days 1 to 30 is what we call you're casting the net wide. And you do that through an online webinar. It's high volume, it's low friction. And then days 30 to 60, what we call the filter, intimate, on-site, on-campus workshop. It's medium volume, it's hands-on. And then you push them into about 60 to 90 days out. And then days 60 to 90, it's the closer, it's the major open house event, it's high intent, and you're driving for that enrollment. So step 1, it's casting the net wide through an online webinar. The goal is to maximize volume, expand reach, keep it frictionless for your team, but also the prospects as well. Online, we're strategically running ads in front of people locally, target markets as well, to make sure you don't have people who just can't attend. I'll come into the online webinar. So you go online because it removes the friction of parking, traffic, anxiety of coming in person. It's a safe way for prospective students to peek inside the school. And when other students see, a bunch of other people on the webinar as well, it builds trust. The webinar itself is not necessarily to close the enrollment, close the deal. Obviously happens. I'm gonna walk you through a case study as well of us doing the 90-day 3-step 3-event approach for a school, the results of the webinar. The enrollments do happen through the webinar, of course, but it's not necessarily the main goal you have in mind. It's the place where you want to close them into the next step, which is nurture them into the next step, which is come to the workshop. You're filtering out the tire kickers so your admissions team knows which person to talk to through the webinar. So key things for the webinar is, you want to maximize show rates, people attending the webinar. So obviously you use your automations, your emails in the background, but most important is speed to lead. As registrants come in, you want to be connecting with them real time, ideally within an hour, latest within 24 hours from the first register. So if someone registered for a webinar 5 days out, they came in today, you're going to be contacting that person. And after the webinar, make sure to clear your calendars, because the first 48 hours after the webinar is most important while they have peak interest right after the webinars. Clear your calendars for getting people for tours, meetings, calls. Now, step 2, it's the filter. It's the more intimate in-person event, workshop. There's a variety of topics you can run this through. Meet the instructor, and this is the bridge. This is the step most schools skip or just completely don't understand or ignore. They go straight from a webinar, try to brute force them into enrollment, or they try to run a big open house. Not many people show up, but they're still trying to brute force enrollments. This is the middle step. It's a taste test for the student, and if they come to this, they're most likely to enroll. So you run this in-person workshop about 20 to 30 days after that webinar happened. It could be a hands-on workshop, meet the instructors. There's a variety of topics you can do. You want to not make this too big. You want to make it a little bit more intimate, max it out at about 30 people. You're pushing people from the webinar, people who attended, people who didn't attend, people who are on the fence, and you're pushing them into the in-person event. Obviously, you're reactivating your existing email list, your database as well, pushing them to the event, and basically moves them from screen to a physical handshake, builds that trust with you. And you don't want to treat this like a sales pitch when you're actually running it. You want to treat it like a mini lesson, so they're getting value, they're getting a taste of what the program's like. So you're pushing people from the online webinar into this event, but we're also running ads to this event as well. Now, step 3 is the closer. This is the major open house you're running. You run it about 30 days after that in-person workshop, but 30 days before the enrollment deadline. So by the time they, come to the open house, they know the school, they know the instructors, they know the curriculum. The only question is like, am I gonna enroll now or next year? So this event builds urgency because the deadline is around the corner. They know that. Obviously, you should vocalize that. So these are people who attended the webinar. If they didn't come to the workshop, you push them to the open house. If they came to the workshop, you push them to the open house. So in a perfect world, people attended the webinar, attended the workshop, attended the open house, they're enrolled. So people who said they were going to come to the workshop but didn't come, push them into the open house, reactivate your email list, database. So for this open house, the focus is like driving them to enrollments. Classes starting 3 weeks, etc. Seats are limited. Now, let's talk about a case study that we're doing, that we recently did for an audio engineering school using our 90-day 3-step event approach. So our budget was about $5,000 per event for each event, running ads on Meta and Google. And step 1 was promoting them to running ads to get the right people to attend and come to the webinar. So we casted a wide net. So let's talk about the webinar. Here's the landing page for the webinar that we recently did. You'll get them excited, get them registered. So we got 214 people to register. We got about 40 people to attend. Cost per lead was about $23. And let's talk about the results and the ROI. Now, this is the mic drop part. We spent about $5,000 promoting this webinar. It didn't just promote and fill the webinar. It reactivated dead people in the database as well. So let's talk about the wins from the ads. So 2 new people from ads attended the webinar and booked a tour immediately right after the webinar. 5, very interesting. See, the interesting part also is 5 people who registered and came from ads. They weren't able to attend the webinar, but they already had a relationship and conversation going with the admissions person prior to the webinar. So they're already talking to them, and schedule conflict, they weren't able to come, but they started an application. So again, that's the really important part of engaging leads real time and connecting with them, building a relationship with them prior to the events happening. Now let's talk about some reactivation leads. So 3 people, historical leads in the database, 3 months old, no activity. They actually started their application. Maybe they were already started it, but they finished it and their application got accepted. So they're pretty much enrolled. 3 people in the database started applications. 2 people in the database accepted and were enrolled. So 8 people who are stuck in the funnel in their database, came to the webinar and got them excited to move forward. That's a really cool part about webinars as well, is it reactivates people in your database. Now, the killers. Make sure you do this or else your events are not going to be great. You want to get people to show up to the event, whether it's an online event or in-person event. So obviously you run your emails in the background, your SMS reminders. But if you do that only, you're going to have very low attendance. Again, you need to real-time engage the leads, whether it's from a webinar, whether it's someone who registered for a webinar, or especially an in-person event. It's even more important. You're contacting these leads within the hour, having a conversation, building a relationship. If you don't connect with them on the phone, keep following up, work SMS, be creative. We have playbooks and tactics of how to, connect better with prospects prior to events happening. Just reach out to us if you need ideas. But it's very important you build a relationship. As you saw with the webinar that we just ran, 5 leads weren't able to attend, but they still started an application, right? So again, that's speed to lead, very important. Engage, have conversations, really just good conversations, not just hey, are you coming to the webinar? Come to the webinar, come to the event. Are you coming? No, have a real conversation, do discovery, build rapport, build a relationship with them like a friend. So there you have it. Don't brute force people into just the webinar enrollment or open house enrollment. Use this 3-step 90-day approach with events. So use events to push your leads smoothly, organically down the enrollment process, so you don't burn out your team, you don't burn out your operations, and it just feels like a smooth process, because it is a smooth process if you do it right like this. Again, you don't have a lead problem, leads aren't connecting. Again, if you're not connecting with leads and they're coming in and they're not enrolling, it's because they haven't necessarily forgotten about you. They just don't have a reason to talk to you. You got to give them an exciting reason to talk to you. And through events, you could build that nurture. So again, 3-step event ladder builds trust at scale over 90 days. Month 1 is the online webinar. Month 2 is the in-person workshop. Month 3 is the open house, in-person open house. And then you push them into the enrollment. So hope you guys enjoyed that. If you have questions, just of course, as always, reach out to us. All right, take care. Bye.